Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the invisible thermodynamic forces that literally power our modern world. We're going to be unpacking a fantastic, comprehensive lecture by Dr. Chem on electrode potentials, Gibbs Free Energy, and the Nernst Equation. So, if you've ever found yourself wondering what's actually happening inside the devices we rely on every single day, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get into it.
Think about it for a second. What actually connects the abstract, centuries-old laws of thermodynamics to that battery sitting inside your smartphone right now? Or, those massive battery packs driving modern electric vehicles? Well, it turns out bridging the gap between theoretical chemistry and the everyday tech we use requires understanding just a few really elegant mathematical rules, and then figuring out exactly how nature tries to break those rules.
So let's start with part one, the driving force, building the foundation. To truly grasp all this complex battery behavior, Dr. Chem emphasizes that we absolutely have to build a rock-solid theoretical foundation first. And right at the very heart of this is Gibbs Free Energy, which we represent as delta G. You can kind of think of this as the underlying thermodynamic engine of a chemical reaction. It's basically the difference in free energy between your starting reactants and your final products. If that difference is negative, boom, the reaction wants to happen spontaneously. It's literally the fundamental capacity of a chemical system to do actual work for us.
And right alongside that, we have the standard cell potential, or E0. A great way to think about this is using a water pressure analogy. Just as gravity pushes water down a pipe, standard cell potential is the physical force pushing electrons through our system. Now, this is under perfect standard textbook conditions, which usually means exactly 1 atmosphere of pressure and standard room temperature. So the higher the potential, the stronger the push. Make sense?
Moving right along to part 2, the thermodynamic triangle.
Okay, let's dive into this, because what makes Dr. Chem's breakdown so beautiful is how these concepts just perfectly interlock mathematically. If you guide your eyes around the edges of this triangle here, you'll see what I mean. Down at the bottom left, we've got our Gibbs Free Energy. Over on the bottom right, there's our standard cell potential, and sitting right up at the very top is K, the equilibrium constant. This setup brilliantly illustrates how these three core properties are totally, inextricably linked. If you know one of them, you can always find the others. They're essentially the holy trinity of electrochemistry.
So, to really ground this math for how it applies to our batteries, let's just focus on the bottom edge of that triangle for a second. Delta G equals negative NF E0. I know, it's a mouthful, but this specific formula is actually profound. It tells us that the total free energy a system can give us is directly tied to the number of electrons it moves, that's the N, and the voltage it can push, which is the E. It's just incredible. Chemistry and electricity literally bound together in one simple line of math.
All right, part 3, entering the real world with the Nernst Equation.
Now, here is where Dr. Chem's lecture makes a really distinct shift. We're stepping away from the perfect chalkboard world and into messy reality. You see, real batteries, they almost never operate in a perfect standard state. As you're just sitting there using your phone, scrolling away, the chemical concentrations inside the battery are constantly changing. They are definitely not locked at a neat 1 molar concentration. Because of this, that standard E0 value we talked about, it just isn't enough anymore. We desperately need a new mathematical solution, something that can track a battery's potential in real time as its internal chemistry shifts around.
And that is where Walther Nernst enters the chat. So the crucial point here is how this equation beautifully corrects for reality. Seriously, don't let the math overwhelm you. Let's just look at the steps together. We simply start with our baseline standard potential, then we subtract this chunk of math that accounts for our current temperature, the gas constant, the number of electrons moving, and finally the reaction quotient. And that reaction quotient, it's really just the current ratio of our chemical ingredients at that exact moment.
But scientists love efficiency. So if we just go ahead and assume a standard room temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, all those messy constants magically merge into one single number. The equation completely simplifies to E equals E0 minus 0.0592 divided by N times the log of Q. This specific shortcut is an absolute lifesaver. It basically allows chemists to easily calculate real-time cell potential on the fly, without having to recalculate every single constant from scratch every time.
Which brings us to part 4, lithium-ion batteries, theory meets reality.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a really practical application. We're pivoting from pure math straight into modern energy storage. Just take a look at this H-cell experimental lab setup. Researchers took a super common lithium battery electrolyte, a salt called LiPF6, and they tested it at varying concentrations. Why?
to measure the real electromotive force, the actual voltage it was producing in the real world.
Now, based on all the math we just went through, the Nernst equation absolutely guarantees what should happen here, right? As the concentration of the lithium electrolyte steadily increases in the lab, the battery's voltage should show a smooth, highly predictable logarithmic rise. On paper, it is supposed to be this nice, tidy, perfect little curve on a graph.
But that leads us to part 5, breaking the rules, deviations, and solvation.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we hit a massive scientific twist. Because in science, even our absolute most trusted mathematical models have a breaking point when they face off against the raw physics of the real world. Just look at this direct quote from the research data. The experimental data obtained exhibits significant deviations from the values predicted by the Nernst equation. Crazy, right? As the concentration got higher, the lithium-ion battery just blatantly disobeyed the predicted textbook trend. The voltage simply didn't match the math. So, what happened? Why?
Well, the main culprit here is a physical phenomenon known as solvation shells. In reality, lithium ions don't just float around naked in the liquid battery juice. Instead, they get completely swarmed by layers of solvent molecules that physically shield them. And this shield creates a highly favorable microenvironment that actually lowers the activation energy needed for reactions. It allows for much, much faster charge transfer, and as a direct result, it completely skews the voltage away from what simple thermodynamics originally predicted.
In fact, this is so incredibly impactful that the standard 1 mol reference solutions scientists usually use to calibrate their lab tools already suffer heavily from these solvation effects. Just to even get a true baseline reading, researchers had to drop way down to a much weaker 0.2 mol solution. It perfectly proves that once you get to high concentrations, these complex physical interactions completely override the basic Nernst math we all learned.
Which leaves us staring at a truly exciting frontier. If our standard textbook equations break down at the high concentrations required for modern energy storage, what new thermodynamic models are we going to need to design to power the super batteries of tomorrow? Science is a constantly evolving process, and honestly, finding the answers to these messy deviations is exactly what's going to unlock the next generation of technology. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious and keep exploring.